Okay, so with the Eco Wash and with the Eco Spin, you don't want to use boiling water. What I would do is I would pour 2, maybe 3 gallons of cold water in, and then I would pour in boiling water. The reason for that was because when I was off grid, it's much easier to add boiling water to cold water to get to the right temperature than it is to take a very large volume of water, heat it to the desired temperature, and then pour it in. It's much easier just to boil a small amount of water. But you do want the cold water in first so that you're not hurting your appliance. Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you about my laundry situation. John just took this off the back of the washer. We were having to turn the water on and off in the back of the washer. So we replaced this, and I have this little holder with wet washcloths so that they're not molding in a big pile of laundry. And I have dish soap and the ironing stuff. I have all that. This is all the towels we have. We have washcloths in here, towels in here, and then I have my dyeing equipment here, and then my dyeing pots. So Dad just fixed this, and we're gonna do some laundry. We sort the laundry in on the bed because again, we're in the kitchen. But nice to have a handy husband. Thank you, honey.
Hey.
Appreciate it. It is nice to have regular laundry again, but I did want to show you. I'm gonna get all these boxes and videos in one day. So this box is from Avalon Bay, and it is my off-grid. Let's see, this is the source of my other off-grid washer. And the only thing I didn't like about my other washer was that the water had to be really nice and hot. Not boiling, but really nice and hot. And it burned your hands when you were trying to get clothes out, and the clothes were coming out with a lot of water in them. So, see? So thank you for that. That card was really nice. Now the thing I loved about my little off-grid washer was that it pressurizes. And the only thing it doesn't take out is stains, but I think they were stains that a regular washer also could not come out. They needed to be doing something with chemicals. I loved that it had the attachment on the bottom that just let you let the water out instead of having to wring things out. I loved that it was pressurized. I loved that it was small, and I loved that it was inexpensive. I think it cost like $50. I had one before, but it didn't have the attachment underneath that let the water out. This one is supposed to spin all the water out so that instead of having to reach your hands into some really, really hot water and trying to get them squoze out so that you can get them rinsed. Kind of excited to see what this does. Same size of tub, no legs. I loved our daddy's putting us in a towel rack. The thing I liked about the other one, the Eco Wash is great because it has these little rubberized suction cups on the bottom. The suction cups keep it from moving because you really are cranking it. It's not hard to crank, but there's a lot of momentum going on there. And so if you didn't have the suction cups on the bottom, it would be moving all over the place. So I am wondering, oh, suction cups. We have suction cups. So that's good. I'm glad they have more. No, same. So they have 4. So that's good. Now, I do have huge confidence in their products. I will say that. The reason I'm showing this to you when I haven't used it yet is because I really do have huge confidence in their products. And so I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. And for those of you who have seen my other videos, maybe you want to wait to get the Eco Wash, or maybe you want both, because honestly what I think is this would be the perfect system. If you have the Eco Wash for your wash, and you have this one there with rinse water, so that you're rinsing in this one, it would probably save you a lot of water. And of course there are no instructions. Whoa, so cool. Okay, so how do I open it? Okay, so that's how I spin it. But how do I open it? Do you just have to have bigger hands than me? Okay, so that's one thing I'm finding is that I see that I might have a hard time getting it open. Okay, so it's looking pretty cool so far. There's our instructions. I spoke too soon. They always do a good job. They always do a good job. All right, Avalon Eco Spin. Okay, so with the Eco Wash and with the Eco Spin, you don't want to use boiling water. What I would do is I would pour 2, maybe 3 gallons of cold water in, and then I would pour in boiling water. The reason for that was because when I was off grid, it's much easier to add boiling water to cold water to get to the right temperature than it is to take a very large volume of water, heat it to the desired temperature, and then pour it in. It's much easier just to boil a small amount of water. But you do want the cold water in first so that you're not hurting your appliance. Do not store the machine with water in it. Do not overload the machine. Keep the machine and all laundry detergents away from children and pets. There are small tabs in the front part of the suction cups which are specially designed for removing the machine. You can pull up on these tabs to easily remove the suction cup from the surface. If necessary, the suction force will vary depending on the surface. So cool. So they had this in, Eco Wash. They had it in the Eco Wash too. They had, the low capacity is 5 pounds, just under 5 pounds, 4.63 pounds. Wash time is 2 minutes, spin time is 30 seconds, and the warranty is for 12 months. Add the laundry, close the lid, turn it clockwise until fully tight, pull the handle until it is fully upright. Begin turning the handle to wash using added power at first. Turn clockwise 1 round and then counterclockwise 1 round. So the way you're washing it is more like an agitator. So it'll be like this, and then like this, and then this, and then this. So the agitation. Whereas with the Eco Wash, it is pressurized. It is the pressure in there that is made, and it really seals down very well. I would imagine that this one maybe doesn't seal down quite as strong, and that's why they have it as like an agitator like this. Now if you go to Layman's Catalog and you get one of the big Hooty Dooty washers, you're moving it like this. It moves the bar back and forth, but you're going to be spending for the whole thing, including the wringer, I think it's close to $1,000. It's like $500 for the tub and the agitator, and then you have to still buy the wringer attachment that's close to $200. And then you need the bins next to your washer that you have for rinsing, and those are a couple $100. So I grew up washing like that when I was a kid. We had one of those gas powered washers that still had the wringer on the side, and we had to have the rinse tubs on the side, and the laundry's done really well. It works really well, but that one is even gas operated, you know, it's not hand operated. So if for $100, if I got the Eco Wash and then I wanted the Eco Spin, that's $100 for the whole setup. And you can just use it in your bathtub. You don't have to be off grid in order to use them. They work. I think they're especially good at things like underwear and socks. Pants they did really well with. But I would recommend wearing aprons a lot, because it seemed like with shirts where there was a lot of food being spilled, you had to put it through a couple times just because of the nature of like greasy food and that kind of thing. It took out dirt just fine. But if you had something that really needed to be like scrubbed because there was food involved, a lot of times maybe a washboard would be needed. And the most detergent they use is 3 tablespoons, and the time is 2 minutes. After washing, take off the drain hose and open the plug in order to drain. So this is the plug. You keep it closed when you're doing the washing, and then when you're done and you're ready to let the water out, you just open it and do the spin cycle. So it's kind of like a salad spinner, to tell you the honest truth. It's like a salad spinner. So you would just use this as a spinner if you didn't have a lot of water. You didn't necessarily have to, does that make sense? You could do the same thing from the wash. You could take it from the Eco Wash, put it in here, let it spin out before you put it in the rinse, so that you were not putting dirty wash water into your rinse water. So fun. I'm so excited to try this. Okay, so I'm really excited to try this back home because that's where my Eco Wash is. But I'm going to see what it does here in my own bathtub. If you were tiny apartment living and you didn't want to go to the laundromat, which I hate going to the laundromat, you could do your own laundry in your bathtub, which is really nice. So I think it still really shines as an off-grid tool, but the other thing is, if you're going to be doing your laundry in something like this, you want to be really careful and wear aprons and not be going through a lot of clothes in a day. Aprons are invaluable for that. They're just amazing. You want to wear your pants several times so that they're actually dirty before you wash them. You really only want to be doing 1 load of wash a week. That's how much we were doing when we were off grid. Is the girls and I would go through 1 load of wash a week, like 1.5 loads at most, so that it really wasn't a big deal to be washing it off grid. But it'll be great. It's a lot less expensive than a wringer, and yeah, it looks like it would just knock the socks off of anything I washed in Eco Wash. So that's Avalon Bay. I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you for sending it to me. I love this. I love finding companies where I feel like everything they put out is really intuitive. Hey guys, so I hate to do a review without actually showing you whether or not I like it, and so even though I have the video already made of me just unboxing it, I am going to show you what I think of it so that you're not left with kind of like, well, did she like it or not? So I have had, I'm frustrated because right now I have all these boxes that got sent, that got delayed over Christmas, of people wanting me to try stuff. So I have this huge pile of boxes now, and it feels like now all my videos are review products. And by the way, I'm not making any money on this. This was just something they sent me. Same thing with the last washing machine. So I don't have any like vested interest in liking it or not liking it. But that's why you see a ton of boxes in my house. For instance, right now I have a box of garden lights, the LED solar lights. I have a whole box of those that were 3, maybe 4 weeks late getting to me because the post office was we were having struggles. And so now the ground is too frozen for me to be able to put those pathway garden lights in and see if we like them. So it's going to be a while before we see those, but it's just one of many boxes, and I feel bad that you guys are having to put up with product reviews, but I want these things tried so that I can decide if I like them or not, and then give them to Goodwill if I don't. So here it is. I do have a little bit of a hard time getting the lid off. The little grooves that they have are not necessarily easy to get a grip on. See if I can show you. All they have are those little like grooves next to the hook. Do you see the? See, they're so small you can't even see them. There's these little. See them? There's that right there that helps you get it open, and that's it. So I don't know if it would. Anyway, I struggle getting it open. There's the handle that's for your agitator and for your spinning. And you are supposed to put your hot water in before, let's see, you're supposed to put your hot water in before you put your soap in. So, this being a normal kitchen, my sink is slightly dirty and I don't want to put this in there. So, I think this would work better in the bathtub than it would in here. But I'm gonna try it in here because for the first thing. So this is raised and you're gonna have to put several gallons of water into it. If you have it up on the sink, it'll be easy to get the water out, but it won't necessarily be easy to put the water in. So part of my problem is that it's really hard to film in the bathroom because it's dark. But I kind of think it's nasty for me to wash whites in here in my kitchen sink. It's probably not nasty, but I feel like it's nasty. But I'll direct it down the sink because yeah, it's too hard for me to film in there. But this does have the little suction cups. They seem to hold on pretty well. If you did not have a hose attachment on this, I think it would be a little tougher. So the max fill line is about right there, about 5 inches up. Okay. So there's a little sticker in here that's the max fill line right there in red, if you can see it. And so yes, with these you want to add your soap first. So I'm going to put a bunch of socks in. I do like to make sure to turn them inside out. I mean, every mom does, but especially in these, if you don't turn them inside out, they're not going to get clean enough. And since you're not putting them in a tumble dryer, it's not a really good idea to have a lot of fluff or like stickers, anything physical that is going to need to be beat up in order to get pulled out of the clothes. Make sure it's not in there. All right, so we put that much in. And I don't feel like it's enough water to get them clean, just right off the bat. So there, I don't know if maybe that's actually the max line for the laundry itself. Maybe that's the max fill line for laundry. So if that's true, I'm going to add more water. So we'll see if that's true. If that's the max fill line for the laundry, that's not too bad. If that was the max fill line for water, then I would highly not recommend this, because you wouldn't be able to get anything clean. Yeah, it kind of looks like there's an edge on the inside of the basket right here that might mean that's the highest like water fill line. This one, the start and the stop and the start and the stop is actually quite, not just hard on muscles, but a little bit hard on joints. Okay, so it seems to spin a lot better when there's still water in it. It's like the weight of the water on the bottom of the container keeps it stabilized, whereas when it's just closed in there, it starts to get jittery. Yeah, it's starting to get jittery now. And you don't necessarily have to go faster in order to get it to do a better job. You can just go at a normal speed, and the centrifugal force is still pulling water out a little bit, but by going faster, you don't make it do a better job. Let's see how it did. Again, I am having a really hard time getting it open. There we go. All right, what do I think? Fantastic, fantastic. I'm getting a couple teeny tiny drops off of it. You can see that it is still dirty. It is still dirty, but if the difference between me reaching my hands into hot water to try and get it out and then trying to squeeze it good enough that I can actually put it out on the line, hands down, this is much better than the system I had before. So, but I think this is a great little spinner. Would not recommend it as a washer. Under no circumstances would I suggest it as a washer. Under off-grid circumstances or even on-grid circumstances as a way to get water out, I think it's fantastic. You will not want to put the lid back on this. It needs to dry out, and this needs to be left open so it can dry out. Otherwise you're going to have mold and things growing in it. When we were storing the Eco Wash, we would store it open with it just tipped upside down so it wasn't getting water on the inside, and all the parts there next to it in our outdoor shower. With this one, I think I'll probably put it like this, see if we can get it to dry out, and then we'll probably go put it out in the shed. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.